Our 2023 deadline previews continue with the Montreal Canadiens today. The Canadiens are obviously in year 2 of the rebuild, and this year has been somewhat better. It's definitely been better, I'm kidding. With a 23-29-4 record for 50 points. They have scored 151 goals and have only let in 205, and they are 26th in the NHL. Comparatively speaking, this team was bad last year. They were just bad. Like, really bad last year. Until they fired Dominic Ducharme, and then Marty St. Louis came in, brought some competitiveness out of the team, and that's really showed this season. The Canadiens currently have $20.2 million in cap space. Now, the projected cap space is actually zero, but a lot of that money comes from LTIR, and with all the free agents they have leaving this offseason, the Canadiens are going to have cap space to work with. If you look at their 2023 UFAs, you have Jonathan Drouin, who obviously is getting no interest. I mean, he is on the market 100%, but there's no interest, and that's not really a surprise. Since that, I think it was Mikhail Sergachev that went the other way in that trade. I wasn't a hockey fan when that trade occurred, but yeah, that trade did not turn out well for Montreal whatsoever. Drouin, not a good acquisition, definitely not. So yeah, hopefully he's just gone for Montreal, honestly. Evgeny Dadonov there as well. Although he is hurt, I will say this. There is a possibility that teams could become interested in him. He could become a backup option because although he does carry a pretty high cap hit, he is still kind of a solid player. He can score goals. He is kind of that type of player, a good secondary goal scorer. It's just his cap hit's too high. That's really the biggest thing with Dadonov, and especially with his expiring contract. I think a team would definitely pick him up on a much cheaper deal this coming offseason, unless Dadonov decides to go over to Russia, which is a very viable solution. Alex Belzile as well, another forward there who is on the UFA market. Corey Schneemann. I don't really know too much about these players, to be honest with you. They're more or less like players who, have come up into the lineup due to injuries. They're mainly just AHL players, but maybe these guys get signed. I'm not entirely too sure. I don't really know what I'm talking about here when it comes to that. Sean Monahan as well. Maybe not. I think if he does come back, he's going to come back on a cheaper contract. It's good that deal is done, basically. He probably will get signed by another team. He is hurt right now, but he has played okay in Calgary through some of those stretches, so we'll see. Then you also have Paul Byron there as well. He's probably gone. I got to be honest. I mean, there's a lot of players in Montreal where their contracts are expiring that are probably going to be gone. You look at their RFAs next. You have Jesse Olivan. I for sure butchered that name like Arbor Jack guy. I butcher so many names, especially with the Montreal Canadiens, where all these new players come into the lineup, but I have no idea who these people are. Yeah, I apologize. I have tried to watch Canadiens games this season. I really have. I've watched, I think, 6 or 7 different Canadiens games this year, which is actually a lot compared to some of the other teams. But really, some of these names are very hard to pronounce. So yeah. And I mean, obviously, it's very difficult to kind of give my perspective on teams that I haven't really watched all too much. So that is very difficult. I usually let a wheel pick it, so I have Ottawa and St. Louis on right now behind me, but yeah. Then you have Raphael Harvey-Pinard as well. We'll see. Michael Pezzetta, too, has some of the craziest hair in the league, I gotta be honest with you. So we'll see if he gets signed as well. He's been all right. And then Cole Caulfield, too, is obviously the interesting one. He's hurt right now, of course. That's why I mentioned him last. Now, Caulfield, we'll see what contract he gets signed to. Really, a lot of the contracts that are being signed right now, I would imagine Caulfield's could be pretty hefty. He's a really good goal scorer. And especially with they have $20.2 million in cap, and a lot of that's going to come off the market, I would say probably just about a half of that, definitely a fourth of it, is going to go towards Cole Caulfield. So we shall see there. In terms of being a buyer, a seller, or staying put, I think the Canadiens should be passive sellers. However, staying put is a good option. Really, this team is just decimated with so many injuries. And it even came out today, the day this video is being recorded, that they will likely have a quiet deadline due to a lot of injuries. So really, that's kind of what to expect out of this Canadiens team right now. However, if I am them, I am definitely going to look at getting draft picks, as they have 2 firsts, 1 second, 1 third, 3 fourths, 2 fifths, 1 sixth, and 1 seventh. So they do have some draft pick assets ahead of this trade deadline, but I would definitely look at maybe trading some players, the players who aren't hurt. Maybe, who knows? And really, as I said, the only 3 bullet points that I've seen come up the past couple of months is that Dadonov could be a good backup option, which he really could. He could score goals. There's been no interest in Jonathan Drouin, which is not a surprise whatsoever. Then you also have that there's going to be a quiet deadline. So really, that's kind of all the rumors that have popped up for Montreal this season regarding the trade deadline. So I really wouldn't expect much to happen unless if a team goes after Evgeny Dadonov. So yeah, that's kind of really all there is to right now with the Montreal Canadiens. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you all very much for watching. For all of your support as of late, I really do appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you are new. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.